welcome back to Miss Mini Budgets. It has been so long since I've been here, and I'm so excited to be back on the channel. I took some time off for the holidays and spend time with family. I don't really do a lot of budgeting during that time. Sorry if you can hear stuff in the background. There is a vacuum running at the moment, so sorry if you hear that. But anyways, I took some time off for the holidays, and then it just took a little bit of time to get started again here in January in the new year. But I'm excited to be back, and I thought we would start with a little DIY craft, little arts and crafts. Everyone loves it, and I'm going to be making a 100 envelope challenge box. I'm sure if you've watched any like budgeting videos on YouTube or, cash envelope stuffing, anything that realm of the budgeting community, you have seen savings challenges. They are a lot of fun and very popular, and one of the biggest ones is the 100 envelope challenge box. So you have a little box like this. This is a pencil box from the Dollar Tree that I spray painted. Don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I spray painted it pretty copper color. So this was $1 at the Dollar Tree, and then I just took off the lid, and if I can get this open, and the little sides popped off, and then I just spray painted it with some extra spray paint I had. And so what you do is 100 little envelopes that fall into here that hold money, and it's supposed to help you save money over the year. So I've already figured out what type of size envelope I want. This is mine. This is my template, my test run. I want mine to where the money sticks out a little bit on the top, and then it fits down perfectly into the box. It will be laminated, so it'll have a little bit of an edge around it from the lamination. So I tried to make it to where it wasn't a perfect fit in the box so that there'd be room for the lamination, if that makes sense. Because a lot of people's is too big, so it has to be all the 100 envelopes at an angle, which is fine if that's what this ended up coming out to look like. But I'm kind of hoping that it'll fit perfectly straight, just for aesthetic reasons. No other reason for that, just for aesthetic. And yeah, I do like the look with the money hanging a little bit out at the top. So today what we're going to do is cut all these out with some paper I have right here that's like watercolor looking. And then to label all of them, I'm going to put, each envelope will have a little tag or label on top, like these right here from Avery. I got this on Amazon. Both of these came from Amazon. Actually, everything here came from Amazon, to be perfectly honest, except for the Dollar Tree box here, pencil box. So once I have them laminated, I'll put the little stickers on them, and I thought that'd be really cute. To cut it all out, I'm going to be using this paper cutter, trimmer, whatever you call it. You can use scissors, but I cannot cut in a straight line to save my life. So having this to help me make sure I get a straight line and it guides me, it's going to be super useful. I already know. Definitely worth the money. It has a little area in the middle so I can physically see the paper and exactly where I'm going to be cutting, of the spot where the razor is going to be going. I don't know if you can see the little line. So I can see exactly right there, like that's the spot I'm going to be cut, if that makes sense. So that's super helpful for someone like me. And then this is a laminator, and let me move everything to the side here. This is just a little laminator I got for cheap off of Amazon. It was a budget one. This is 3mm lamination sheets, and so I'm going to cut everything out and then laminate it. I've actually never used a laminator before, so this is going to be my very first time, so we'll see how that goes. And then I'm going to laminate it, put the stickers on. I'm still not sure if I'm going to put the stickers on before or after I laminate. We'll decide as we go along. And then we're going to start filling out the box. I have to make 100 of these envelopes, so I'm going to be doing a lot of cutting and laminating. So it's going to be really fun though, and I'm really looking forward to it. So if this is something that you want to learn to do yourself, just keep watching and we can do this together. So I went ahead and got my papers out and ready. So this is just all different watercolor designs, really pretty. I love them. If I remember, I'll try to link it down in the description box below. Super cute. If I did my math correctly, I need 25 of these pages, because I think I can fit 4 on each page, and so if I'm doing 100. So I got 26, so I have 1 extra page for mistakes. In this pack, there were enough, if I have 2 of each design, I had 24 pages, which is what I have here. And then I went ahead and grabbed 2 extra pages. So this top design, which is my favorite because I like all the different colors, I have 4 of that page instead of 2. So I have 26 pages here in this little stack. Went ahead and counted it out so I don't have to try and worry about like how many have I done and try to keep track, because I know at some point I will lose track and I will forget because there is so many of these. So the sizes I decided I want to try to do is 5.5 inches long ways right here on this, yeah, and then 2.875 inches for the width, if that makes sense. Here's a little diagram on the page to try to make sense of what I'm talking about. 5.5 is the full length, but across is the 2.875, which sounds complicated, but that is on a ruler, the like little notches. It's the second from last notch before you reach 3, if that makes any sense. Hopefully it does. But I know which little notch I'm looking for, and that's just what I'm going to go by when I'm doing all of the cutting, if that makes any sense. I'm not the best at math, so I did try to pick notches that I can follow. So first off, I'm going to split it into the 5.5 length, so that's the long ways of the paper. So a paper is 11 inches, divided by 2 is 5.5, so it should be 1, 2, 3, 4. Should work out if my math is correct. So we'll see if that works out. So let me line it up here and then make sure it's all even and like all lined up. I'm really bad at straight lines, so I'm trying to make sure this is perfect. You probably do this a lot quicker than me, but I am so bad at arts and crafts. You know, we all have our talents, and mine is not arts and crafts, even though I love to do them. So let me do this first cut here of the project. So that's 5.5. And then let me double check this measurement. It should be the same. Let me line it up here. Yep, that is perfect. So now we go sideways to do the 2.875 length. So let me find the notch that I need. Okay, line it all up. Perfect. And then I just gotta make the cut. So there is my first little envelope. It's beautiful. Let me fold it here and make sure that it'll work. So I'm trying to line it up to make sure I fold it correctly. There's so many like particular things. I'm so bad at straight lines, you don't even know. It is a talent how bad I am at making straight lines in anything. You know, it's a work of art. So there's my bill for practice, and see if it fits in the box. And it looks like it's fitting perfectly. So there is a little bit of space still for the lamination, so I think this is going to work beautifully. So we just have to do like 9 billion more of these, and then we'll be perfect. So I'm going to start a pile over there. Let me do this next one. I am going to be doing a lot of like time lapses throughout this video, just so you don't have to watch me do like every single step a little bit at a time, because that would be hours and it's going to take way too long. I don't think this last bit is long enough, so I think it's wasted paper. Let me check. Unfortunately, yeah, it's just not long enough, and I don't think it's going to work. It's like almost the exact same size of the bill, and so it'd be too hard to put the bill into that for my taste. So I'm just going to stick that to the side and find something to do with it, because I hate waste, and I'll just figure out something to do with that paper waste later. So here's me just plowing through all this. This actually didn't take very long. I'm just cutting them all into the 5.5 inches length, and I think this really only took me maybe like 5-10 minutes, because once I like got into the groove, it was really easy. Okay, let me try to like get all this into a more organized fashion here. And then now that we have done the first step, now we're going to continue this little conveyor belt situation here, and now we're going to be doing the next side, the 2.87. So I think it's going to make it easier for me so I can remember which line I'm looking at, to just constantly be doing the same line over and over again, if that makes sense. It's easier for my brain is what I guess you could say. So now I'm going to start doing the 2.875 length. I did hate that I was having extra bits. I did double check to see if maybe I could rework it, And I was like, what is exactly thirds? You know, if I was with three exact equal lengths. And so a paper is like 8.5. And so if you divide that by three, it's like 2.8333 or something like that, which isn't a line on the ruler, unfortunately. So I try to do the next line, which is like just underneath it, which sort of worked, but putting the money into the envelope would have been just way too tight. Like, it would have been a struggling to get the money in, and I just did not want that. I did not want to be struggling with every single of my 100 envelopes. It's just going to be too much. I would get frustrated, and I feel like it would make me not want to do the yeah, if you look at this, you can see that there's just barely any room left over. And it was just too frustrating for me to do that size. Yes, this is 100. I'm not putting hundreds in this. I got this for Christmas from someone. I'm just using it as like a placeholder right now. So don't be thinking I'm bougie or a big baller, because I assure you I am not. I am low income. So yeah, the next line over was just too short for my taste. So I'm going to keep doing the second line from the three as usual. If you want to do the smaller one, you can if you want, but these are my envelopes and I want them to last and be usable and easy to use and, you know, last long term. So it's going to make extra waste, but it is what it is. I'm not going to be too upset about it. I'll figure out something to do with the waste, excuse me. I'm not sure what yet, like Christmas present tags or something. I have no idea, but I'm just not going to worry about it. So here's me doing a little time lapse of all of these. Just, it really starts going through so easily, and I love this paper cutter. It has paid for itself, basically. Like, I could not imagine doing this with scissors. This paper cutter has saved my life just with this project. I love it so much. Look at all the pretty colors. Oh, I'm so happy I picked this paper. It's so cute. Okay, now on to the next step. I have never used a laminator, as I mentioned before, so this is going to be interesting. We're all learning together. I'm not sure yet how I want to do the labels. I have some spare pieces of paper, of lamination paper. I mean, of the watercolor paper, and then this is a practice lamination sheet that came with the laminator. So I'm just gonna practice, and I'm just gonna see like how the laminator works, and I'm gonna figure out how it all lays out. I know that I'm folding these papers, and then what you do is you take the lamination sheet and open it, and there's one side that is connected. So you take your little paper and put it down as to the bottom. Yeah, so the folded in is as far down to the end as you can go. And then I'll probably do like two, I think, going across. And then this will go through the laminator like this. Laminate, and I'll take it out the other end. And then I can cut around and see what this is going to look like. So here are my labeling options. I can take this without the lamination sheets. This is a wet erase marker by like Visa Vis, I think the brand's called. And I can write on like whiteboards and lamination. It takes having like actual like dry erase solution or like water or something like that to erase it, because like once it's dry, it doesn't move. So I was thinking maybe I could just write the number on the laminated envelope. That would be cute. And then I also have these labels that I could put like in the corner, but I'm not sure yet, because I thought these would be a good idea. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm kind of not, you know. I kind of like an idea of just writing on the envelope. Does that make sense? I don't know. I can't seem to make up my mind. I'm not sure what I want to do. We're going to try a couple different options and then just see kind of what it looks like coming out. And then I can make my decision from that point going forward. So I have 4 in here, but I think I could probably fit 6 once I start actually laminating. The laminator will get really hot, so just make sure to keep an eye on that. The end that's closed goes through first. So let me figure out how this feeds into here. I think it just goes like this. Oh yeah, look, and there it goes. It's doing its own thing. So you're not supposed to pull it on it at all. So, you know, even though I kind of want to, they said not to. It will be slightly warm coming out, so just make sure to keep an eye on that. You can see up in the top corner, I didn't put it in correctly. It's at an angle and I'm hitting the edge of the laminator, but that's okay. This is why this is a practice. So now I know I need to put it in a little bit more straight and a little bit more in the middle. So I know that now, but just something for you when you do start laminating yourself to look out for that. I only want the top part to be open. I don't know if you can see, there's like little bubbles around each envelope. Here's a picture of it. And that means it's close. So if you want to open a side, you have to cut through that bubble. And if you want a side closed, you cut around the bubble and make sure it's not open. If that makes any sense. I'm actually not liking the little tags. I think they're too small compared to like just writing on the envelope, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is just cut out one of these and then I'm going to write on the lamination. So that other one I wrote on the paper before it was laminated, but I'm wanting to see how well this vis-a-vis marker sticks to the lamination here. So we're going to dry it off a little bit. Let me blow on it a little bit. Let me make sure, wave it about a bit because I want to see if it smears. That's what I'm really focused on. So yeah, I'll try to link the marker too, if I remember, in the bio. Or in the description, excuse me. Okay, it's been about like 30 seconds. I think it's dry now. That's looking really nice. It's not really going anywhere. It's just this tiny bit of smudge, but I think it's perfect. I'm not going to be really doing that anyways. So I think this is actually the route I want to go, is just write on it and then let them dry. Don't touch them, let them really set. And I think that's going to be really cute. So this can then be reused because then I can like wet it, clean it off, and then write a new amount if I ever want to change the amounts per envelope. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. So I don't even need my little labels. I will use them for something else. I don't know what, but I always find uses for those things. So I'm going to get started laminating, start powering through these, and I will come back to you for the next step. So I can do 6 on each page as I'm showing here. Oh, there's like something on the page. I did do a few extra from the extra page I cut out. So I'm actually going to be laminating 102, I believe is what the math came out to. So I have 2, maybe 4 extra just in case something goes wrong in the laminating and cutting process. Oh, there's something on this page. It's like dust. My room is like dirty apparently. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to do 6 on a page and then just plow through all these. And then I'll come back when it's all done and we can move on to the next step and how I'm going to cut them out. So here is the power of a time lapse. This took a while. I'd say it probably took me maybe about like 30 minutes to go through the entire like laminating process for this. So I thought I would just take a quick break and give you a few tips since I am a laminating expert by this point. When you're putting these in, make sure the side that's folded is flush against the bottom as best as you can for all of them. So always make sure to keep the part that's open facing me, so like have them all on the same side. When you start having a pile of these, it's going to be more difficult to remember which ends need to be open, but I know that this is the bottom because it's like flush against the bottom and there's all the space up top, if that makes sense. So it's just a way for me to help remember which sides are folded and which sides need to be opened if they're all done the same way. So a little organization now is really going to help since you're doing a bulk amount. So just make sure you have this set in your head of like how you're going to know which sides you need to cut. So now these are done and we're going to moving on to the cutting process, which is the longest part of this. They're not in straight lines. Me and straight lines do not go together like I told you. So I'm going to have to cut them out all individually. I can't just like 2 at a time or just do a whole line at a time because they're not perfectly straight. Does that make sense? So I'm going to cut down the middle and make it into just like 2 separate sheets, just like a single row at a time. And then once they're down into single lines, then I'll use this to cut out each one individually, because we're just going to have to do per envelope. So it's going to take a while, but this is going to be the best way to do it to make sure they all turn out perfectly. So here I am just making my single file rows of 3. This part didn't take too long. It's the cutting out each individual envelope like this that's going to take forever. So now I'm just going to be really gentle going around each one to make sure I don't break the bubble, which is going to be the hardest part. I thought about just cutting it into thirds, but the way I actually do end up cutting into thirds, but I'm just really worried if I just start cutting randomly that I won't remember which side's supposed to be the top. So I'm going to cut the top part of each one to separate it instead of just cutting the middle. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm just kind of making a game plan in my head of how I'm going to do this. But I'm going to start cutting around of each one and just make sure that I'm cutting them perfectly. I made a few extras just in case this goes wrong, and I have a feeling I'm going to need them, but here we go. You can kind of see my head peeking in at the bottom there. I was really having to like look at them to make sure I got them perfectly. And then look at all my beautiful envelopes. Don't they look so cute? Oh, I love the colors. Ta-da! It's a good thing I made extras because these 2 got messed up. I don't know if you can see, but I cut into the side bubbles on both of these. I knew I'd probably do something like that. I had 2 extra to spare, and yeah, I had 2 extra to spare, and I used both 2 extra mistakenly. So yeah, these are all done, and they fit perfectly, and they look beautiful. And then I've already tried it with my $100 bill that I'm using as a placeholder to make sure that they work. And see, look how cute that is. Fits in there perfectly, and it fits in the box perfectly. So it fits down in there like this. Then you put the lid on top, and then snap it closed, and voila! It is beautiful. I am so happy with how this turned out. I was debating on like writing on the envelope, you know, writing the amounts, but I think I may just leave them blank for right now, because if I want to later, if I want to go back and write them, I can. I have the marker. I can easily do that. But I have a digital tracker that I made with my 100 envelopes amounts. So I'm thinking each week I could just color in on the digital tracker, and and then just pick an envelope to put the money in. Does that make sense? I don't particularly care if the envelope says the amount on it or not, if all the envelopes are going to be used. So I think that would be really nice to do. And then I just have to change out the digital tracker if I want to use a different amount. So yeah, this is all of mine, all done. And it only took me like a whole evening, as you can see from the darkness in the background. The hardest part was cutting them out. I got so tired of it because it just took so much time to make sure I was not cutting into the bubbles. You want to make sure you do it right. So I had to stop, like take a dinner break. If I did really mess up a lot, I could have went back and like re-laminated, but that just would have been extra time and it would have been more tedious. So I'm really glad I didn't have to do that. So yeah, with that being said, I hope this really helped you, and I hope you make your own. It was a lot of fun, and they're so cute, and I saved a lot of money making my own. I am low income, so everything about this channel is about trying to make every dollar work for me. So I am really excited to try this. My envelopes aren't going to be a lot, like $1 here, $5 there, but I do think it will help me to save some money throughout the year, because everyone loves to do challenges. It's so much more exciting than just transferring money from one bank account to another bank account. You know, does that make sense? If you do end up using this tutorial to help you make your own, let me know. I would love to see how this works out for you, and I'd love to see what your Hamid envelopes looks like as well. So tag me, let me know. With that being said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.